Among the countless Space Marine chapters defending the Imperium of man, few are as enigmatic and adaptive as the Raptors. Descended from the Raven Guard, the Raptors have carved out a reputation as masters of stealth, ambush, and guerrilla warfare. Today, we'll take a deep dive into their history, combat doctrine, and the philosophies that make them one of the most formidable forces in the galaxy. The story of the Raptors begins in the aftermath of the Horus Heresy, one of the most cataclysmic conflicts in human history. Following the traitor legion's betrayal, the Emperor's loyalist forces faced an enormous challenge: how to safeguard the Imperium against future uprisings and incursions. The solution came in the form of the Second Founding. After the heresy, it became painfully clear that the immense power concentrated in the original legions could be a double-edged sword. When guided by a loyal Primarch, a legion was humanity's most potent weapon. But as the Horus Heresy demonstrated, if a legion turned traitor, it became the greatest threat to the Emperor's realm. The events of the heresy also left many legions severely depleted, further underscoring the need for reorganization. Robert Guilliman, Primarch of the Ultramarines, an architect of the Codex Astartes, proposed a radical solution. The legions were to be divided into smaller, independent chapters, each with its own command structure. This reform served multiple purposes. It limited the power any single leader could wield, provided greater flexibility in responding to threats across the galaxy, and ensured that no one chapter alone could pose a serious danger to the Imperium. By creating a network of smaller, more agile units, the Imperium could both defend its territories more effectively and prevent the kind of centralized betrayal that had led to the heresy. It was during this sweeping restructuring that the Raptors were born. Forged from the gene seed of the Raven Guard, the Raptors inherited many of the traits that Corvus Corax, the Primarch of the Raven Guard, had instilled in their parent legion: stealth, cunning, and an unwavering focus on achieving victory against all odds. As a master of guerrilla warfare and covert operations, Corax's doctrine emphasized precision, patience, and adaptability over brute force, principles that the Raptors embraced wholeheartedly, shaping them into a chapter uniquely suited to asymmetrical warfare. However, the Raptors' early history wasn't without hardship. Their original homeworld, granted to them following the Second Founding, was destroyed during one of the early Black Crusades. This catastrophic loss forced the chapter to adapt, becoming a fleet-based force for many millennia. It wasn't until much later, during the Caberiad Wars in early M39, that the Raptors established Tarangast as their new homeworld. This long period of wandering further cemented their identity as a resourceful and adaptable chapter, ready to endure and overcome any challenge. Building on the foundation established by the Second Founding, the Raptors shaped their leadership and company structure around their unique combat philosophy. Their organization reflects their commitment to pragmatism and precision, ensuring that every element of the chapter functions efficiently and independently. The destruction of their original homeworld during the early Black Crusades and their subsequent transition to a fleet-based chapter profoundly influenced their operational methods. Forced to rely on mobility and adaptability for survival, the Raptors developed a decentralized command structure where each company often operates independently. This independence allows them to respond quickly and effectively to threats across the breadth of the Imperium. In time, the Raptors claimed Tarangast as their new homeworld. Though this provided a central base of operations, their fleet-based habits remained. Even with Tarangast, the Raptors maintain the mindset of a chapter that can function without a single fortress monastery. They continue to deploy companies across the galaxy, coming together as a whole only in the most dire circumstances. At the top of the chain is the Chapter Master, a position currently held by the enigmatic Lias Isodon. Known for his pragmatic leadership and cold, calculated strategies, Isodon exemplifies the Raptor's ethos: efficiency, adaptability, and precision. He's not a leader who seeks glory or grandeur. Instead, he focuses entirely on results, often taking direct control of special operations to ensure that the chapter's objectives are met with minimal losses. Just as the Raven Guard do, the Raptors make extensive use of their 10th Company. Scouts and Vanguard Marines are frequently dispersed among their task forces. In fact, it's not uncommon for entire Raptors task forces to be composed of Infiltrator, Inceptor, and Reaver squads. These specialized units are integral to the Raptors' approach, reinforcing their focus on stealth and precision. Ultimately, the Raptors' hierarchy and organizational approach reflect their combat doctrines of stealth and precision. By treating the Codex Astartes as a flexible guide, they ensure every company and squad is prepared to adapt quickly and operate autonomously, aligning their structure with their pragmatic approach to warfare. The Raptors are masters of guerrilla warfare, and their combat doctrine reflects a philosophy rooted in patience, adaptability, and precision. For them, victory isn't about grand displays of power or overwhelming the enemy in a frontal charge. It's about outthinking their opponents, exploiting every weakness, and achieving maximum results with minimal casualties. The Raptors' unorthodox approach to the Codex Astartes is a key factor in their success. While many chapters adhere rigidly to the Codex, the Raptors treat it as a flexible guideline. They adapt their strategies and structures to fit the demands of each mission, allowing them to operate with greater autonomy and efficiency. This pragmatic approach enables them to conduct operations that other chapters might find too unconventional or risky. Their reliance on stealth and reconnaissance is central to their combat philosophy. The Raptors rarely engage without first gathering extensive intelligence on their enemies. Scouts, vanguard units like infiltrators and reavers, and other reconnaissance elements play a critical role. By spending time observing enemy movements and identifying weak points, they can strike precisely where it will do the most damage. Entire task forces may consist solely of infiltration units, showcasing their commitment to stealth-based operations. The Raptors also excel at ambush tactics and sabotage. They often disrupt supply lines, assassinate key commanders, and cripple enemy infrastructure before launching a full-scale assault. This strategy leaves their enemies disoriented and vulnerable, ensuring that the Raptors face diminished resistance in direct combat. Their use of camouflage and terrain further enhances their effectiveness, allowing them to blend into their surroundings and maintain the element of surprise. In addition to their tactical ingenuity, the Raptors are known for their ability to adapt to any environment. Whether operating in dense jungles, urban battlefields, or arid wastelands, they tailor their methods to the terrain. This versatility makes them one of the most flexible chapters in the Adeptus Astartes, capable of succeeding in missions that demand unconventional thinking and a willingness to bend the rules. In essence, the Raptors' combat doctrine can be summarized in 3 words: patience, precision, and pragmatism. They wage war as hunters rather than as warriors, always staying one step ahead of their prey. By the time the enemy realizes what's happening, the Raptors have already won. Throughout their history, the Raptors have repeatedly proven that their unorthodox methods are more than just effective. They're indispensable. Their most notable campaigns demonstrate how their blend of patience, precision, and pragmatism can shift the balance of power in some of the Imperium's most dire conflicts. One of their most prominent engagements was the Badab War. The Raptors were part of the loyalist forces sent to quash the secessionist Astral Claws and their allies. Under the leadership of Chapter Master Lias Isodon, the Raptors leveraged their trademark guerrilla tactics to disrupt enemy supply lines, conduct surgical strikes on key targets, and sow chaos among the traitor forces. Their strikes were carefully timed, targeting critical supply depots and leadership centers, gradually wearing down the secessionist capacity to resist. On Gargathia 3, they outmaneuvered the Mantis warriors in a deadly game of ambush and counter-ambush, showcasing their ability to outthink even other Astartes. The Raptors' expertise also came to the fore during the Third War for Armageddon. Deployed to the planet's equatorial jungles, the Raptors worked alongside the Catachan jungle fighters and the Armageddon orc hunters to wage a war of attrition against the invading orc forces. Their familiarity with dense, unforgiving terrain made them the perfect choice for this mission. Using hit-and-run tactics and ambushes, they disrupted the orc advance by severing supply lines, destroying key war bosses, and sabotaging key forward bases. Their partnership with the Catachan's survivalist expertise allowed them to maintain a shadowy presence in the jungle, striking when least expected. Even beyond these well-documented battles, the Raptors have taken part in countless smaller engagements across the Imperium. Their fleet-based nature allows them to respond quickly to emerging threats, deploying small, highly specialized task forces to tackle Xenos incursions, chaos uprisings, and other destabilizing events on remote worlds. These operations often go unrecorded in official histories, but their success has kept dozens of sectors from falling into anarchy or corruption. In each of these campaigns, the Raptors' actions have illustrated a simple truth. War is not about glory or spectacle. It's about winning as efficiently and effectively as possible. Their approach may be unconventional, but their record of success speaks for itself. The Raptors chapter isn't just defined by their tactics and organization. It's their underlying philosophy that truly sets them apart. While many other Space Marine chapters put a premium on glory and the honor of open battle, the Raptors take a far more pragmatic approach to war. Victory for the Raptors is not measured by the number of battles won in the public eye, or by the amount of personal valor displayed. Instead, it is measured by how effectively they achieve their objectives, how few lives are lost in the process, and how thoroughly they outmaneuver their enemies. To them, every resource, every soldier, is valuable. Sacrificing lives for honor or glory is seen as wasteful when those lives could be preserved to fight another day. This careful conservation of resources, including manpower and war gear, influences their every decision and ensures that their forces remain combat-ready for the battles to come. This mindset is also reflected in their no-nonsense visual and cultural presentation. The muted greens and blacks of their armor are designed not to inspire awe, but to provide practical camouflage. The Raptors do not engage in ostentatious ceremonies or grandiose proclamations of loyalty. Instead, their subdued and functional appearance serves as a constant reminder of their philosophy. Every choice must serve a purpose. Their utilitarian aesthetic mirrors their pragmatic approach to war, emphasizing results over display. In many ways, the Raptors embody a kind of quiet professionalism. They don't seek fame or recognition. They seek efficiency and effectiveness. Their greatest victories are often unknown to all but a handful of imperial commanders and planetary governors, and yet it is these unheralded victories that make them one of the most dependable and respected chapters within the Adeptus Astartes. While other chapters may sing battle hymns of glory, the Raptors remain a silent, shadowy force, always working to protect humanity by any means necessary. The Raptors chapter has long been an example of how effectiveness and adaptability can serve the Imperium in ways that traditional methods cannot. While many chapters earn renown through grand crusades and celebrated victories, the Raptors often go unnoticed, quietly achieving results that ripple across sectors and beyond. Their pragmatic approach to warfare has influenced not only how they fight, but also how other Imperial forces perceive the Astartes. Planetary governors and Imperial Guard commanders have come to trust the Raptors for missions that require precision and minimal collateral damage. Inquisitors often turn to them for covert operations where the standard shock and awe approach of other chapters would draw too much attention or risk unnecessary losses. In many cases, the Raptors' intervention has turned desperate situations into victories, ensuring stability in regions that might otherwise have fallen into chaos. Beyond direct engagements, the Raptors also serve as a model of resilience and resourcefulness. After losing their original homeworld and enduring long periods of fleet-based operations, they demonstrated how a chapter can survive and thrive under harsh conditions. This example has inspired other chapters facing their own hardships to adapt and persevere rather than collapse under pressure. But their independence and flexibility have not always endeared them to the more conservative elements of the Imperium. Some traditionalist chapters, as well as certain segments of the High Lords of Terror, view the Raptors' unorthodox methods with suspicion. Despite this, their consistent record of success has earned them a level of respect that transcends these criticisms. They are seen as a reliable force in a galaxy that can ill afford failure. In short, the Raptors' impact on the Imperium extends beyond the battles they've fought. They exemplify a strategic mindset that values results over appearance, adaptation over rigidity, and survival over blind adherence to tradition. Though they may operate in the shadows, their influence on the Imperium's military doctrine and their contribution to humanity's survival are undeniable. In the darkness of the 41st millennium, where war is eternal and survival is a constant struggle, the Raptors have carved out a unique identity among the Adeptus Astartes. They are not the loudest or the most celebrated chapter, but their mastery of stealth, precision, and pragmatism has made them one of the Imperium's most effective and reliable defenders. From their origins in the Second Founding, through their defining battles in the Badab War and beyond, the Raptors have proven that sometimes the path to victory lies not in bold charges or glorious last stands, but in careful planning, calculated strikes, and a willingness to adapt. They have saved countless lives, secured vital victories, and shown that intelligence and strategy can rival the mightiest strength. The Raptors stand as a testament to the flexibility and diversity of the Space Marine chapters. They remind us that the Emperor's will can be carried out in many ways, and that even in the face of overwhelming odds, there is hope for humanity. Though they may fight in the shadows, their legacy is one of undeniable light for the Imperium.